Hi, Jake.
Hello, Eleanor. I am Jake, and for those who are listening and do not know me, I run a 60-day program that helps change people's life trajectory if they are at a turning point in their life where they are either doing well, but they want to push themselves and excel, reach a peak, or if they are in a position where they're not happy where their life is going and where that may lead. They might not be really unhappy now, but they see the path that it's on and they want to make a change. I'm not sure if this is going to be a regular podcast or a regular conversation, but if it is, I plan to bring on an expert in a subject that I am uncomfortable in. And today we have Eleanor.
Hiya.
And the big reason for this for me is 2026 is a year of growth, trying to put myself into positions where I'm not the expert in the conversation. I won't be leading the conversation, and because I'm trying to grow as a coach and as a friend, as a partner, and as a father. So today we have Eleanor, who on social media is known as Exercise with Eleanor. She is a expert in health psychology as she is studying a PhD. She stands for anti-perfectionism,
Mhm.
sheds a light on pose photos, unposed photos. She is trying to raise awareness on eating disorders after battling with one herself, which we
Yeah.
will go into.
Yeah.
Have I forgotten anything?
No, I think you've covered me. I think expert is very generous, but thank you very much. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Great. So let's get into it.
Mhm.
Why did you start exercise with Eleanor?
So I started exercising with Eleanor on Instagram back in 2020. So it's when like COVID pandemic was rife. Everyone was furloughed, working from home, and I was like, what else can I do with my time? And it seemed like it was such incredible weather back then. Like it seemed like everyone was just wanting to get outdoors, get moving because we were pretty much cooped up. So I started just recording my workouts. My lovely boyfriend was filming them behind the camera for me. And was really, I think, fortunate at that time because everyone was at home on their phones that it did quite well. People were following the workouts, they were saving them, all things that you could do from the comfort of your own home because obviously the gyms were shut. So things like abs workouts and body weight workouts. And then I started because people were really interested and I was really felt really grateful that people were actually engaging, started sharing like recipes and things as well. Which we'll come on to. Some very interesting recipes were shared. But yeah, so I started basically to record my own journey and to inspire other women and men, but particularly women, to get moving during COVID when there wasn't really a lot of hope going on in the world.
And your page has developed and
Yeah,
evolved
so
into,
much.
yeah, massively. I've seen that personal journey, and I
Mm,
think that I would say you speak a lot now about body positivity,
yes.
which we're going to go into in quite depth today.
Yeah.
So, what do you think people get wrong when they think of body confidence?
So I think the thing that I would probably say I wasn't aware of when I first started posting about it. So, like I said earlier, the first things I started posting were workouts and these recipes. Gradually, as my own journey evolved, I realized I wasn't necessarily my healthiest self, despite portraying that online, because behind closed doors, I was really picking myself apart, even though I was posting these gym workout selfies or whatever, where I looked really happy and I technically looked really in shape. So I think the body confidence that I portray now that people don't quite always understand is you can love your body, you can be really body confident and still want to strive to improve it. And that doesn't mean that you don't love yourself. And I sometimes get funny about saying those words, love yourself, because sometimes people perceive it as selfish and arrogant. But actually, the only person that's going to be with you every step of your journey is yourself. So you have to love yourself. I don't think you can evolve and grow from a place of hating yourself. So I think the thing people see body confidence as is just getting comfortable and not wanting to be the best version of yourself. And it just means that you can, I hate to say this, but get lazy and just do whatever you want and it doesn't matter. I'm someone who has slowly learned the difference between loving myself as I am, but also wanting to prove to myself I can do hard things, I can show up for myself, develop that discipline. But at the end of the day, I'm not picking myself apart in the mirror. And I think that's where people get it twisted. And actually, someone once said to a friend of mine, and she told me, I don't understand why Eleanor posts all these things about body image and body positivity when she's got a great body. And
Mm.
people sometimes think that if someone's got a great body, quotation marks, um, that they can't still struggle with their body image, and that they can't want to improve. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm going on a
Yeah.
bit of a tangent here,
Yeah, no,
but
it's fine.
yeah, I think that sometimes people get that twisted a little bit.
You said something that I wanted to unpack. You said that you were portraying an image online
Yeah,
and you weren't happy.
yeah.
So let's get into that. What do you mean?
So from an outside point of view, I was the smallest I've probably ever been. We're in a world of skinny top coming back now where people are striving to be their smaller selves. We're seeing celebrities as slimmer than ever, the rise of like weight loss injections, etc. Back then, I was the slimmest I've ever been. So people would think that I was in the healthiest I've ever been, because people sometimes get it twisted that slimmer equals healthier, and that isn't necessarily the case for a lot of us. Um, so I had abs. I was quite lean. I could run like a 5K in 23 minutes, which is pretty good for me. And what I was posting online would make everyone think she's really healthy, she's really fit, she finds eating these healthy meals really easy. She loves herself, basically, and she loves how
Mhm.
her life is. In reality, I had an eating disorder. I had, just want to put a little trigger warning here if anyone is currently struggling with an eating disorder. I had bulimia. I was making myself sick after a lot of meals. I was exercising twice a day and I was consuming the calories a toddler would eat, which, especially if you're training twice a day, is nowhere near the right amount. And I probably was consuming less realistically if we're taking into account the bulimia. So I think people would have thought I was doing a lot better than I was, and I was keeping this other side of me very, very private. Um, very few people knew I was struggling with it. I wasn't even really honest about it with my partner and my family because I felt a lot of shame about it, and I felt I needed to show up as a certain way online. And it was only after going to therapy and I think also getting older and caring less as you get older, but I started to realize that I actually was possibly doing more harm than good online by portraying a certain version of myself that wasn't real, didn't exist. And
No
people,
vulnerability.
no vulnerability. And so I realized that people were following me thinking, comparing themselves to me and thinking, well, Eleanor eats, a 200-calorie salad for lunch and exercises twice a day, and she seems really happy. So why can't I do that? And that was all a lie. So yeah, after going to therapy and doing a lot of inner work, um, I realized that I actually needed to show up as my authentic self to actually do more good than harm.
Positive influence.
Exactly.
And then
Yeah.
for those that don't know, would
hmm
you just give us a brief description of bulimia, please?
So, bulimia is an eating disorder where it's typically characterized by consuming a lot of calories, often in one go or over a period of time, and then purging. And purging is sometimes people think it's just through vomiting, but it can be through a variety of different methods. And I'm really sorry if anyone is struggling with this because I don't want this to be a trigger point for anyone. But it can be things like vomiting, it can be using laxatives, it can be over exercising, or like significantly reducing your intake in the days that follow a binge. It's not quite the same as binge eating disorder because it is particularly characterized by the purging aspect. So obviously, if you're like like I was showing up and posting what I eat in a day, but you're not then telling people that you're purging, you're it's very inauthentic. And I have to like look back at that time in my life and try and show myself kindness that I didn't know better at the time and I was really struggling. But I also feel really sad that I showed that to people at a time because I really hope that I never encouraged anyone to eat as little as I was doing. Yeah, it's a really hard situation, really.
I think it's difficult because a lot of times you are whenever you put something online,
Mm.
people will resonate with it differently. People
Yes.
will use it differently,
Mhm.
and I know from my particular message that some people will resonate with it and some
Yeah.
people will not.
Mhm.
But I like to believe that the the positive impact you would have had would have outweighed any negative impact.
Thank you.
And then turning that shift to how you speak now,
Yes.
you are further feeding and fueling that positive impact by showcasing the vulnerable side.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
I wouldn't stress it too much if I were you.
Thanks.
What would you say? Well, actually, let's get on to this
Mhm.
because this is something I do want to talk about.
Yeah.
You mentioned we went over body confidence and people maybe getting it mixed up and confused about what body confidence is.
Yeah.
I personally
Mhm.
believe that you can accept yourself for who you are
Mhm.
and want change.
Yeah.
And that means both positively, I'm happy with where I'm at, but I still want more.
Mhm.
And also negatively, if
Mhm.
I look at the mirror and I see someone that I'm not happy with,
Mhm.
doesn't have to be physical. It could be I see someone who drinks too much, doesn't sleep enough,
Mhm.
doesn't move enough,
Mhm.
doesn't drink enough water, or I'm not happy with my own body image. But the only way I can make a change is by accepting that and
Yeah.
taking responsibility for it and then
Yeah.
my further actions.
Mhm.
So, with that in mind, what do you think was that point for you
Mhm.
where, despite looking, to use your words, great, or to use other people's words,
Yeah.
amazing body,
Yeah.
what was the point where you said, I'm not happy
Mhm.
at the person looking back at me? And what were the steps that you made to change?
Yeah, it's such a good point about body confidence there. I think you definitely can accept yourself and want to improve. But like you said, I was at a point where I'd taken it too far and I wanted to, I was never happy with what I could achieve. And there's this thing called the I'll be happy when complex. And I think this is so common in people who struggle with body image and body confidence. It's always, I'll be happy when I do this or when I look like this. But when you get to that, it's the next thing. I'll be happy when I've got abs. Then when you've got abs, I'll be happy when I've got glutes. And it's really detrimental because you're never going to actually attain happiness if you're constantly striving for self improvement. So for me, I realized that I wasn't happy because I was constantly chasing the next thing, the next aesthetic. Body trends are constantly changing. We see things like the Kardashians who have the big glutes and curvy hips, and then suddenly everyone's losing weight. Your body cannot withstand going through that. And there was a time when my mum actually said to me, which breaks my heart even thinking about it really, I just haven't seen the happy version of you in a long time. Like I miss seeing my happy daughter. Oh my gosh, when your family member or someone close to you says something like that, it makes you think, it makes you take a step outwards and realize maybe I'm not actually that happy. She was the first person I told about my binge purging, and she obviously couldn't understand it, and but was trying to help support me. And I realized not only was I having a detrimental effect to my own health and well-being, physically, mentally, but also to other people. I wasn't a person I liked. I was really snappy because obviously when you're not eating enough, you get really hangry. I was so short-tempered. I was having tantrums over the most ridiculous things. Like I would, and I've said this to so many people. I would go for a run, and if I didn't get the pace I was wanting, I would honestly have a tantrum at like in my 20s. That's not normal, but obviously I couldn't get that pace because I wasn't fueling enough.
Mm.
Um, or
Because just to
mm,
uh, pull you on that is, and this is one of the big reasons why I wanted to have this conversation because
yeah,
our goal is the same, is to
yeah,
help people, and I
mhm,
think our messaging is different the way we do
mm,
that.
mhm,
And I wanted to do this because I think that I believe in things that you will say, hang on, but what about the impact of this?
yeah,
And what I want to point on what you've just said there,
yeah,
where having a tantrum about
yeah,
not hitting a certain time, and yes, it was probable because of underfueling.
yes,
And for me, I like to not. have a tantrum and throw my toys out the pram,
Yeah.
but I like to set goals
Yes.
and try and achieve them. And if I don't achieve them, I am a bit gutted.
Mm.
But in the same breath, it's Roger Federer said it really well
Mhm.
in a speech was every point means the world to me
Mhm.
until that point is played and won or lost, it's gone. It's done. And you move on from it. So I think that it's important to I want that pace.
Yeah.
I'm going to do everything and it means the world to me
Mhm.
to get that pace. But if I don't get it, it's not going to spoil my day.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a breath and I'm going to move on.
Yeah. You're not gonna beat yourself up for the rest of the week, month, whatever it is.
And did you find yourself that was what you were doing?
Yeah, I was beating myself up. I was so annoyed at myself, and I wasn't just beating myself up, I was snapping at people around me as if it was their fault, particularly my boyfriend. He took the brunt of it, bless him. Um, and yeah, I think that was a wake up call for me. Like, I actually am not that happy, and I need to make a change. And I think I was like following, it was like body positivity was definitely becoming more of a thing. I was following other accounts that promoted this self love, body love, which I hadn't ever really engaged with previously. I followed a lot of girls who were people I strived to look like,
Yeah.
certain aesthetic, certain body type. And you can have people that you are inspired by 100%,
Yeah.
and you can have goals, like you were saying. But I think it comes down to the point of whether that then impacts how you see yourself to a negative
Yeah.
extent. And I was following people, and people were probably following me with the same thoughts. Oh, I can follow her meal plan. I was following Victoria's Secret Angels. I'll follow their meal plan.
Yeah.
I found a diary entry recently, and it was like how to get a Victoria's Secret Angel body. And it was like no carbs, no root vegetables. It was like the most ridiculous things. Like no sugar. It was
Yeah.
so unrealistic. It was very all or nothing mindset. And yeah, I think it's a fine line between being inspired by something and someone and copying it to a point you're unhealthy and unhappy. And I was definitely veering on I was on the harmful side, 100%. And I
Well,
also think, sorry,
no, yeah, please go on.
you can be inspired by someone, but I think we're all different people. You can work out the exact same as someone and eat exactly the same as someone and not have their body, because we do have different genetics, we have different body types, different heights. Like, I'm 5'5". The Victoria's Secret Angels are 5'10". Like, even that, for example, our body composition is completely different, and I can't change my height. So there are things like that where you have to realize that's not healthy to strive to someone that looks nothing like you and you're never going to look like, and it's okay. Doesn't make them any less or more beautiful than you. They're just different, and that uniqueness is to be celebrated. We don't want to all look the same. That would be so boring.
For sure. And I think that you spoke about comparison, and
Yeah,
obviously the age-old comparison is the thief of joy.
100%.
But it's natural to compare.
It is.
And I always tell people if you are going to compare, you cannot hyper compare
No.
because you cannot look at Jeff Bezos and say, I
Yeah.
wish I had his money,
Yeah.
because you have to then compare across the board.
Mm,
But do you wish you had his life?
yeah.
I wish I had her body, but do you wish you had her diet?
Yeah.
Do you wish you had her relationship? Do you wish
Yes.
you had her job?
Mm-hmm.
If you compare one thing, you must compare all. And I
Mm-hmm.
imagine there's a lot of things that you wouldn't sacrifice about your own life,
Mm-hmm.
your social life,
Mm-hmm.
your date nights with partners
Yeah.
as a result to attain that thing.
Yeah.
So I try to convince people to not compare.
Yeah.
But if you are going to, then you have to look at everything
The bigger
and not
picture.
just the thing that you are hyper fixated on
Mm.
right now.
And the danger with social media is we often don't know
Yeah,
the extra bits. We just see what people want us to see.
for sure.
So they have the body that we think, yeah, I would love that, but we don't see that they're actually starving themselves. We don't see that their relationship's
The
broken down.
bulimia.
The bulimia. You don't see that, and I realized that's what I was kind of doing and contributing to. And I think now my shift has been, I still have a lot of role models and goals, but they're more focused on what my body can do and can achieve, and they're broken down into smaller, more attainable goals rather than I want to be a Victoria's Secret supermodel. Like, why do you want that?
Yeah,
Because you think it's going to get you X, Y, Z, rather than maybe, okay, I like high rocks, for example. There are a few athletes who are incredible, so strong. They've achieved such incredible things. inspired by them and their progress and how they've gone from A to C, whatever, by training really hard and fueling their body properly and being inspired by that as opposed to, because that shows strength, that shows commitment, discipline, self belief, as opposed to just a body type, which doesn't really show anything.
Absolutely. And we'll come on to that. I just wanted to go back to I'll be happy when.
Yes.
And this is something that yeah, I've personally not battled with it. I'm
Yeah.
pretty lucky, pretty fortunate, touch wood, that I'm quite a happy person.
Good.
But one of the things that
Hmm.
I do with my coaching,
Hmm.
and it's controversial on the face of it,
Okay.
but once you unpack it as to why I do it,
Hmm.
it makes sense.
Okay.
So when people sign up with me
Hmm.
and on their onboarding questionnaire, I always ask them what would be their goal
Yeah.
physique.
Okay. Hmm.
And this can be a previous time where they felt confident, which is fine.
Okay.
But also, it might be a Victoria's Secret model,
Okay.
right? And the reason for this is because once we finish the process and I ask them, how you feeling? I say, I'm the best I've ever looked. I feel amazing. Da, da,
Mm.
da, da. I ask them to go back to that first picture and I
Okay.
say, how does that make you feel?
Hmm.
And they either say, oh, and they change the goal to a new person. I'll be
Okay.
happy when.
Hmm.
And I say to them, you've just told me that you're the happiest you've been, the most confident you've ever felt,
Hmm.
and now you're moving the goalpost.
Yeah.
And I said, it was never the person that you were aspiring to be.
Mm.
It was the journey.
Mm.
It was the getting up at 6 o'clock before work to work out.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
was the PB on the run. It was the
Mhm.
PB on the squat or the strength, not skinny, whatever it was. It was that that's made you happy. And it
Mm.
was never going to be this.
Yeah.
So if you move that goalpost, you'll forever chase it.
Yeah.
I will be happy when.
Yeah.
I'll be happy when I'm a millionaire. You become
Yeah.
a millionaire. And it's now I'm a billionaire.
Yeah.
So I put that in there. And
Mhm.
on the surface, it's like, oh my God, this guy's comparing. But it's to
Yeah.
make people realize when we're at the end of our time together, to look back and think, it was never that I wanted.
Mhm.
It was the identity of the
Mhm.
person, which is
Yeah.
something I do believe in.
Yeah. I actually, when you first said that, I thought, "Oh, I'm not sure about that."
Where this is going.
But when you've explained it, I think what you're doing there with your clients is you're helping them reframe their thoughts about it. And I think it's risky because you could have someone say, "No, I still want to look like that," and I still don't. But hopefully, having gone on that journey with you as their coach and building their self belief because they've committed to a plan and they've actually, yes, they've done their 6 a.m. workouts, yes, they've stuck to their meal plan, etc., etc. You've built their self belief so they can see beyond the aesthetic goal. So hopefully that is what happens. And I like that.
Yeah, and that's what I try to reinforce.
Yeah.
It's For me, aesthetics is nothing, it's performance.
Yeah.
And the other reason I put it in there is because it gives me an indication of the the type of person they want to be.
Mm, yeah.
So, for example, if someone puts a photo of a bodybuilder,
Mhm.
I know that their program is going to be consisting of bodybuilding. If someone puts a
Mhm.
photo of Ronaldo, then
Yes.
it's a more athletic
Yeah.
program with more
Mm.
plyometric and multi-directional
Yeah.
sports. So
Yeah.
it also gives me an idea on that. But the main
Yeah.
purpose is to showcase that you're just going to move the goalpost
Yes.
rather than be happy with the
What they've
journey.
achieved. Yeah.
Mm,
I think I actually quite like that as well because something I've learned a lot in my, so I did my undergrad in psychology, master's in health psychology, and so my PhD's taking that one step further to be a chartered health psychologist. Um, Something that we've learned a lot in there is about people often don't always know how to communicate about their goals, or there's like sometimes a divide with like health communication, and whether you realize it or not, when you're doing coaching and you're working with people, you are actually engaging in a form of health communication, obviously. So having someone show a picture is a really nice way of them being able to visualize and help you visualize where you want to get to. Because sometimes I think people don't know the exact words. It's like the word toned. And then you say to someone, okay, so you want to lose a bit of fat and build a bit of muscle. No, I don't want to build muscle.
mm,
It's like, well, that is actually what a toned look, that
yeah,
look that you're showing me of that model or that fitness influencer, she is toned, so to speak, because she's built a certain level of
yeah.
muscle and lost a certain level of fat. But people don't always understand those terms. And so then having a picture is a really nice way to get around that. So I like that.
That's good then. Um, and as our message is different, we have
Yeah.
very different followers.
Yes.
So, what do you see most commonly that
Mm.
your followers struggle with?
So most of my followers are women, which is obviously a good thing because that's what I'm striving to target. And I would say most of my followers, and particularly I don't coach anymore, but when I was a fitness coach as well, the thing that I would say most people come to me with are A, discipline, and B, body image. Those two and how they interact. A lot of girls would come to me saying, I'm not happy with my body. I want to do X, Y, Z. I want to be able to run this distance or whatever. Um, and but also be saying, but I don't want to get to a point where I'm like disordered, if that makes sense. Obviously, I post a lot about having had an eating disorder, self-love, self-confidence, and yeah, not comparing yourself. So the unposed versus posed photos, etc. So people will come to me saying, I really want to get to this point, but I don't want to do it in a disordered way. And I want to be able to know the difference between when I need to rest because my body is actually burnt out versus when I need to push through. Um, and I think that's a really hard fine balance to find. And you probably see that a lot with your clients as well. When someone has a performance goal or a body goal, knowing or teaching them to get to a point where they trust their own body to tell them it sounds a bit woo woo, but trust their own body to tell them when they actually genuinely need to take a rest day versus when maybe they're just being a bit lazy and they could go and do that workout. That's something that a lot of girls come to me struggling with. It's a tricky one. Yeah.
Well, self love
Mm,
and discipline are hand in hand
I
because
agree.
the biggest form of love and respect you can give yourself is say you're going to do something and do it.
I 100% agree, which people might not think I would agree with.
Because, well, you've said it before how people may get confused with your message and saying
Yeah.
that loving yourself means you're fine the way you are,
Yes.
which is fine, which is great.
Yes.
And acceptance it is the first step,
Mhm.
but confidence is built in progress,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And I
Mhm.
think that you don't become confident by shouting affirmations in the mirror. You
Okay.
become
Yeah.
confident by an undeniable resume of
Mhm.
things that you've done and accomplishments. And I don't mean accomplishments like masters and PhDs.
Yeah.
I mean accomplishments like making your bed in the morning
Mhm.
when you said you're going to,
Yeah.
and hitting doesn't have to be 10,000 steps, whatever your goal
Step
is,
goal.
6,000, 5,000, and drinking 2 liters of water, 3 liters of water, whatever your non negotiables are,
Mhm.
is what you're going to build your confidence in and your resume of,
Mhm.
wow, I'm someone that does the
Mhm.
thing that I say I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And it's the same, and it works in the opposite trend, I believe.
Mhm.
You never feel worse than when you said, I'm going
Yeah.
to get up tomorrow at 5 and you don't.
Yeah.
And I also think that that comes from people saying unrealistic goals of
Yes.
saying I'm going to get up at 5. But if you're someone that gets up at half 8 every day, well, let's say 8 o'clock
Start with 8.
first,
Yeah.
and then we'll go 7, and we'll go
Yeah.
6, and we'll go 5. And I respect why they're doing it
Mm.
because you're trying to identify the person that you want to become, and that is the
Mhm.
best way to do it.
Yes.
The studies on smoking and those who successfully quit smoking are when you offer them a cigarette, they say, "No, sorry, I don't smoke,"
Yeah.
opposed to "I'm trying to quit."
Mm.
So I like the idea of identifying as that person,
Mhm.
but let's start where we stand.
Yeah.
And if you are someone who is so far away from that person they want to be,
Mm.
say you want to run a marathon, but you
Mhm.
can't currently run 5K,
Mhm.
it's a terrible idea to say that you're going to run every day because you will ultimately fail
Mm.
and then reinforce that feeling of a
Mhm.
failure,
Mm.
which you're not.
Mhm.
You're not a failure. You're just setting yourself unrealistic goals from where you are.
Yeah.
So if the goal is to run a marathon,
Mhm.
let's put our trainers on day one and stretch.
Mm.
That's it. Tick that box. Wow, I did it. Day two, the trainers go on and we walk around the block.
Mhm.
Wow, I did it.
Yeah.
And day three, you go for your first jog.
Yeah.
It's a small jog,
Mhm.
lamppost to lamppost. And as you're building this, you're reinforcing, I am someone
Mhm.
that says I'm going to do something
Mhm.
and I do it.
Yeah.
And I think that James Clear speaks really well on this in Atomic Habits,
Mhm.
where he says break the end goal down
Yeah.
into the simplest form
Mhm.
that it can be, the easiest form it can be.
Yeah.
Because once you start collecting wins,
Mhm.
they will compound over
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
And before you know it, you are the person that you wanted
Yeah.
to identify to be.
Completely agree. I completely agree. You're basically talking about building that self belief. And the only way you can build that self belief is to set those smaller goals, achieve them, tick them off. And interesting you said about not sure you build it through the affirmations. I actually think you do to a point as well. You can't just do the affirmations. You also have to put in the work like we're talking about. But our brain cannot tell the difference between lying to ourselves or telling the truth. So if you tell yourself, whether it's in the mirror or doing a voice recording or journaling it, I can do hard things. I do hard things. I set those goals and I achieve them. You are that positive reinforcement that you're hearing, that it goes into like a feedback loop in your brain. And the more you hear that, the more you do believe it. So I agree, you can't just do the affirmations, you have to put in the work as well. But I do think the affirmations help that. And I've said about it earlier before we started recording, even now, even though I've gone through therapy and things like that, I still have those days where I look at myself in the mirror and the first thing I want to do is pick myself apart. Oh, look at this, look at that. And it's the affirmations that I've done over time and the work, the inner work, that make me go, no, challenge that thought. My negative thought is Simon. Simon says, no, shut up, Simon. You're talking nonsense. And by like detaching those negative thoughts from my own brain and saying, no, stop it, I'm almost like I'm not allowing myself to believe that when it comes along. Um, so I agree. I think affirmations can't be the only thing, but they can work really well in conjunction with setting those smaller goals. And it's things you've probably heard of them loads of times, but it's actually health psychology, SMART goals. You have to make them specific, you have to make them measurable, and you have to make them attainable, relevant, time based. You can't just say, I want to run a marathon, like you said. Well, when? Let's set a goal, let's set a deadline, let's set some specifics around that. And like you said, the smallest things, all of that builds up, builds that self belief and makes you feel confident in your own abilities and own capability. And that I think is self love. Because if you do set those goals and show up for yourself and do them and do the work, how can you not love
Mm,
what you're doing?
yeah.
Like, and we said about it earlier, you're not just going to wake up feeling disciplined and motivated every single day. So by doing those small habits, and I'm a sucker for a to-do list with a little tick
Mhm.
box. I love it. It makes me feel so great to tick things off. I've even seen people have like sticker charts with gold stickers on in their 20s. Whatever it takes for you to feel good about yourself and your progress and feel motivated, do it. It doesn't matter how weird it is to anyone else. Um, but yeah, like just starting and breaking it down, doing those small things, that is going to make you feel more motivated. And that is going to help you build the self belief and then ultimately the discipline and help you achieve your goals.
Yeah. And I definitely agree that it's all just about reinforcing. If you've done the work, I'm someone that does the work.
Yeah.
And then we spoke about it earlier about, we'll come to that actually. I won't jump ahead. But law of attraction,
Yes.
everyone,
Yes.
I, I, I want the universe to make me money or make me happy and
Mm-hmm.
in shape
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it might be. And my mentor says it really well, the law of action.
Yes.
And, just asking for something will not give you the thing,
No.
but it may make you more aware
Mm-hmm.
to do the thing that you need to do.
You have to know what you want to go
Mm,
after it. So yeah,
mm.
I agree. Yeah.
So if I'm telling the world that I want to be a millionaire every day, every day, every day,
Mm.
I slowly start doing the things
Yes.
that a millionaire would do
Yes.
and do the work that the millionaire will do.
Yes.
And duh, 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 duh.
There's a phrase or a quote that I really like that's about that. And it's, if someone looked at you right now, would they believe you're serious about your goals?
Mm,
And sometimes I'll be sat on the sofa and I'd be in a bit of a slump, feeling a bit down, bit woe is me, which sometimes you need to have those days. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes you need to have a strong word with yourself, and I'll think about that quote. If someone took a picture of me right now, would they know what goal I'm working towards? Would they believe I'm serious about becoming XYZ, a psychologist, for example, or being able to run a 10K PB? Probably not. And let's just start. And you see a lot of coaches say this, like, if you don't feel like doing it, just do it for 5 minutes. If you don't want to do it anymore, then stop. You've done 5 minutes. If what you'll probably find is you start, you do your 5 minutes, and you think, oh, I can do 10, I can do 15. Just the smallest, doesn't matter how long it's for, but just the smallest steps make such a difference.
Yeah, and that goes to one of my sayings,
Yes.
which is standards over feelings. You
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
you don't want to do the thing.
Yeah.
Well, let's do the thing and
Yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah.
Because I imagine 9 times out of 10, you'll feel like doing the thing after you
Yes.
start. And
Yeah.
sometimes you won't,
And you can always stop.
and you can always stop, right?
Yeah.
But I am someone that does my non negotiables, whether
Hmm.
I feel like doing them or not.
Hmm.
Because if I wait to feel like doing something, I may never feel like it.
Yeah.
Whereas if I do something,
Mm.
I may end up feeling like doing the thing again.
Yeah.
Do you ever think that people use body positivity as an excuse not to make a change?
Uh, yes. And I think the only thing I can draw on really is my own experience really with that. We can get very comfortable with what I can get very comfortable, I did in the past, with feeling like, well, I love my body. I shouldn't need to want to change it. I don't need to strive for something better, so to speak, especially having gone through the other side where I was striving to a detrimental extent. I think it's very easy for people to think, and this is no judgment because, like I said, I've been through it. It's very easy for people to think, because I love myself, I don't need to push myself. But actually, if you take a step back, pushing yourself to grow and to chase your goals when you know that is ultimately what you want is a form of self love. And it is something you can want and can do whilst loving your body and accepting it as it is. I still have goals that are to do with what my body can do. I want to be able to get a high rocks PB next time I do one. I would love to be able to run another half marathon. I did one 4 years ago. I'd love to do it again and get a PB on it. That will mean I need to go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week on a structured plan, do a couple of runs. That doesn't mean that I'm not happy with where I am. It just means that I'm accepting where my body is right now. I'm accepting my starting point, and I'm loving myself enough to grow and get to that point. I'm not using it as an excuse to have a day off. And that's what I said earlier, my clients found really difficult, and I found difficult. It's hard to know when to take a rest day versus when to push through. But ultimately, you're not actually doing yourself any favors or showing yourself any love by not pushing yourself and achieving what you want. You're actually doing yourself a disservice.
But you're going to, like we said earlier, you're going to feed into that.
Yeah.
I'm someone who doesn't do the thing.
Yeah. And it's a negative feedback loop. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I don't think there's anything wrong. I always say I'm happy, but I'm never satisfied.
Okay.
So I'm happy with where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm not satisfied because I want more. But I reflect on my wins. I bathe in them and
Mhm.
I say, well done, Jay. Can I give myself a pat on the back? I celebrate them with my
Mm.
friends and my family. And then I'm ready to go again at
Yeah.
what's next.
Yeah.
And I think that setting those lofty goals
Mm.
is what helps me fall in love with the journey.
Yeah.
And this is what I go into when it comes to standards over feelings because my background is boxing.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had a fight lined up,
Mm.
this is the thing that I want. I
Mm-hmm.
want to win.
Mm-hmm.
And the person that wins has to go to training.
Yes.
And I don't think it's for everyone
Mm.
because we have three main pillars in life. We have our relationships, our career, and our health.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot move all three at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot train 6 days a week,
Mm-hmm.
striving for a fight,
Mm.
as well as see your partner and your kids for 20 hours a week, as
Mm.
well as be thriving in your career. So you can move one and maybe two at the same time because you would have seen it. As we go on holiday and enjoy our relationships more, we put on a little bit of weight or
Yeah.
we might not exercise as
Yeah.
much. As we go towards our high rocks PB, we notice that we can't do as much on our PhD.
Yeah.
So when it comes to about rest days and burning out, I would look at people from a holistic approach and look at their entire lifestyle
Mm.
and say, okay, the main goal has to remain the main goal.
Mm.
If your main goal is to get promotion
Mhm.
and you are tired, it would be advantageous to miss that workout,
Mm.
to get 8 hours sleep
Mhm.
so that you can crush the meeting in the morning.
Yeah.
If the main goal is to feel the most confident you felt for your wedding day
Mhm.
and career right now is pretty swimming, then it would be advantageous to
Get your workout in.
get your workout in
Mhm.
and skip out on an extra hour of work to get that in.
Yeah.
So you have to find that balance.
Mm.
I'm not great with it myself
Yeah.
as I'm foot to the floor all the time,
Yeah.
but I don't expect everyone to be like that and
Mm.
I don't push that upon people. It's obviously a complete different scale, but what's his name? Mr. Beast
Yeah.
said it in an
Yeah.
interview. He said, if I cared about my mental health, I wouldn't have achieved the things that I have. And it's pretty brutal
Yeah.
and it's not sustainable and it's not
No,
for everybody,
it wouldn't be for me.
which is
Yeah.
brilliant. And you found that position.
Yeah.
And where I'm at in the
Mm.
beginning of
Mm.
my journey, there are
Mhm.
definitely days where like I'm a mess
Mhm. Mhm.
and I don't know what it is, but I managed to drag myself out of bed and do the thing.
Yeah.
And am I doing irreversible damage? Maybe.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. But for me
Mm.
personally, I want these things so much
Mm.
that I'm willing to sacrifice part of myself for it.
Okay.
And I appreciate that's extremism.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I appreciate that comes with a lot of negativity.
Yeah.
And I would never push that upon my friends and my family and my
Yeah.
clients.
Mhm.
And I always try and get people to not hyper compare,
Yeah.
but to take some inspiration
Yeah.
from some of those stories and
Yeah.
not intimidation.
Yeah.
Gone off on a bit of tangent there.
No, but I like it. I think having struggled with my mental health quite a lot, for me, from my own experience, I think mental health is everything. If I'm not feeling mentally good, I can't chase towards my goals. If I haven't protected how my brain is feeling. And it's only because I've worked on it through therapy that I've built that resilience. That some, obviously, mental health, things like depression, it's a chemical imbalance in the brain. And some people don't quite grasp that. They think it's just having a down day or it's something you can control. It isn't. It's, it's a biological, um, it's, it, it's a chemical imbalance in the brain. And sometimes that can be recovered through therapy. Sometimes you need a little bit of help with medication. Mr. Beast saying that, maybe I would question whether he has struggled with his mental health to be able to say that he could completely disregard it in pursuit of his goals. Not to say that he hasn't, but for me, if one of my clients, and I know you agree with this, if one of my clients was struggling mentally, I wouldn't be pushing them to a point where their mental health gets worse. And I think that quote makes me a little bit iffy because I'm like, oh gosh, having been in a really low place, I think it could encourage some disordered habits. But I appreciate the sentiment that you do have to, people who are successful have worked really, really hard and they've tried really, really hard. And sometimes you see people not wanting to try in case they fail, but you don't see that everyone who's been successful has failed previously. They have to get
Yeah.
where they are.
Fail every day.
Fail every single day. Like you have to push us out of your comfort zone. You have to do the hard things. You have to accept that there will be times when things don't go your way. That is part of chasing success and becoming a successful person and building that resilience. So there's that quote from Travis Scott, and he's saying, is it Travis Scott or is it ASAP Rocky? Someone. It's a really good quote about when did it become uncool to try.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good thing to think about because a lot of the times even in school, you might remember this, it suddenly became really uncool when you went to
Don't say
primary, secondary
you
school.
might remember this. Like I'm that old.
No,
I
we're
I, I
similar.
look that's the kids.
No, I mean, maybe we went to different schools. When I was in primary school, it was like really cool to be smart and to work hard and get a good mark on a spelling test. When you get to secondary school, suddenly it's not cool to try, and people would pretend they hadn't studied and they just got a good grade without trying. Realistically, they had studied most of the time. There are some people who are very gifted
Mhm.
and they don't have to, but the majority of us have to work hard to achieve something. And suddenly it becomes uncool to try. You don't want to look like a try hard, like that's an insult. But actually, every single person we admire in every field, acting, sports, business, and beyond, has tried hard to get to where they are. They've had to put themselves out there. They've had to really try. They've had to fail, learn from their mistakes, and grow. And I think that's, I've gone on a tangent now. Gosh, we're both on
That's
tangents.
fine. That's what
But I
that.
think that's a really important thing
Yeah.
to think about. Like, you can't have a goal without being willing to do everything you can to get towards it.
And I think this is interesting because you mentioned that what Mr. Beast said would negatively speak to you or not resonate
Yeah,
with you.
it doesn't resonate with me. It
And
might
this is
resonate with
how,
other
yeah,
people.
and this is
Yeah.
how people are individuals
Yes.
because I really resonated with
Yeah.
that. And I spent a year and a half in hospital for mental health
Did
under
you?
the care of, yeah, under the care of the early intervention for psychosis team.
Okay.
So, and what I found with my correlation is I was lost.
Mhm.
I didn't know what I wanted to do. I
Mhm.
didn't know where I was going to be, what the
Mhm.
future looked like for me,
Mhm.
and I had no direction or discipline.
Okay.
When I have the direction and discipline,
Mhm.
and I find I'm truly making an impact and
Mhm.
improving other people's lives or helping someone,
Mhm.
whether they're at the beginning of their journey or at
Mhm.
the end, I feel alive.
That helps your mental
I
health.
have clarity, and that is when I am pushing myself to the brink.
Okay.
So
That's good for
I
you to
really
hear.
resonate with
Yeah.
that message, and
Yeah.
again, it just shows how people are individuals and
Yes.
how we sit on
Different sides.
different sides, and our goal is the same, is to
Yeah.
help people,
Yeah.
but our messaging is completely different.
Yeah.
And I will say what I'm saying today, and I'm sure some of your followers will be like, that guy's off his head,
They
and they
won't.
might not resonate,
But
and
yeah,
vice versa.
exactly.
And I think
Exactly.
that, and that's the beauty of social media or just
Yes.
any media, because people can find what they do resonate with
What
and
works for them.
find a community in that.
Yeah.
I've managed to build, which is really interesting actually,
Mm.
because for years of doing what I have been doing,
Yeah.
I didn't attract a lot of female
Yes.
clients.
Okay.
And in the last 6 months, 7 months, it's almost doubled.
Really
And I've not changed my messaging,
interesting.
which is really, I find that really interesting because
Yeah.
now I'm either finding or
Mm.
speaking to
Mm. A different audience.
a different audience of people who have that slightly different take on it. And I don't know what it is or why,
Mhm.
but it seems to have really kind of blown up at the moment. And for the first time ever on my cohort of, I can't remember what it is, 70 people who just started last week,
Amazing. That's
30,
amazing.
36 of them or 35 of them are female. So
Nice.
for the
Yeah.
first time there's ever been
Yeah.
that shift
Mhm.
of more
Yeah.
female based, and I find that really cool
Yeah.
because it means that I'm also speaking to a different audience,
Yeah.
which
I
yeah.
think you can reach the same goals and reach your message through different
Mm.
avenues. And that's why I think there is definitely a space for loads of different coaches online with different approaches. That's the beauty of it. There are going to be people who resonate with different things and it works for them and vice versa.
Yeah.
Like there are things that my clients wouldn't like about yours and vice versa. I don't have clients anymore, but when was a coach. So I think
But they, well, if they
yeah,
don't resonate, don't watch, and
exactly.
that's you don't have to.
You don't have
You don't
to.
have to absorb
Yeah,
it. And
you
I
don't
think
have
that
to.
there's
Yeah.
so much hate and negativity in the world, and it spreads quicker than love.
Yeah.
A thousand immigrants cross the channel and are given Rolls Royces, and it's like people are putting this everywhere, and it's like, what are you
Mm.
doing?
Mm.
What are you doing? You're not. First of all, you're digesting something that may or may not be true.
Yeah.
You're sharing it,
Mm.
and you're just absorbing this hate.
Yeah.
And it's like if you have a doom scrolling session
Doom scrolling is the worst.
and you put your phone down
Mm.
and you feel worse than when you first picked it up,
Yeah.
you need to reevaluate. what I need to, I would reevaluate what I'm consuming
Yeah.
because how are you gonna, if you absorb
Yeah.
hate and anger,
Yeah.
you're gonna project it.
Yeah. And I think, obviously it's not about doom scrolling, but I think this phrase applies: when the fun stops, stop.
Yeah,
Social media was meant to be fun and enjoyable. And once upon a time it was, and it still can be, but our algorithms are shaped by what we engage with. And the more you engage with something, the more you're going to see it. And that goes for politics, it goes for body image stuff, it goes for what I like to call skinny talk, which is on TikTok and also on Instagram. It's basically like inspiration, which was a really big thing, and on Tumblr in like the 2000s, people sharing ideas to get as slim as they can. The more you engage that, the more you're going to see it.
mm,
And if you come off your phone after scrolling and you feel drained, that is a warning sign. And I think I definitely have learned from that in the past. My screen time was disgusting. And I actually have two phones now, because one's like an old one, which I just use just to scroll on Instagram. So it's not within reach all the time.
yeah,
And the other one is
nice. Day
everything
to day.
else. Yeah, WhatsApp and whatnot. Because otherwise, it's very tempting. It's addictive. It's designed to make us want to
But
scroll.
there are a lot smarter people than us that are making you, draw
Yeah.
your attention, and it's brilliant.
Yeah, and that's something we speak about a lot in health psychology. There's a lot of misinformation out there,
Mm.
and there's not a lot of controls.
Policing or anything like that,
Exactly. So, I mean,
especially when it comes to
anyone can have a
politics.
podcast.
Any idiot.
But you can listen to anything and you can absorb it and you can believe it, and people are very clever with marketing and with clickbait and making you think something, and it becomes an echo chamber the more you
Yeah.
engage with it, and it can be really detrimental to your well-being.
And
So yeah.
another reason why I wanted to have this conversation
Yeah.
was so I'm not in an echo chamber. Because as my
Exactly.
community builds,
Yeah. You hear
if
the
you
same things.
if you just speak to those people and they're like, yeah, that's a great idea,
Yeah.
da, da, da," you need to have that devil's
Yeah.
advocate and the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So with that in mind,
Yeah.
this leads on to a very good topic.
Okay.
If someone is struggling
Yeah.
or don't know where to start,
Hmm.
what would be your advice?
What would be my advice?
What's
It,
someone's first step?
someone's first step, I would say, is to, this is psychology and me coming out, acknowledge the feeling, try and work out where it's coming from. If it's something that you can do something about, do something about it. If it's something that's out of your hands, accept the feeling and we can work through that. But I would say if you're sat on the sofa feeling a certain type of way about your body, about your life, about anything that you can control, write down what you are feeling and what you need to do to get to your end goal, and then break it down into smaller chunks and just start with the smallest possible thing. Do 5 minutes and see how you feel.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
And if someone is in a slump, would you focus on their physical health or their mental health?
So I think physical and mental health are incredibly linked. Like, there's so much research that shows that they're linked. I would say, from personal experience, as soon as I move my body, I automatically feel better about myself. And that can be something as small as walking around the block for 5 minutes. I would say, yeah, set a timer, do something. It doesn't have to be the gym. It can, but sometimes people, a barrier is the cost of, Pilates class is like £25 these days. Just do 5 minutes, work on that physical aspect, and that's going to release endorphins. It's going to make you feel really positive at the end, and you're more likely to come home or come out your living room if you've done a 5 minute yoga stretch with a renewed sense of purpose, feeling better about yourself because you've done something and not just sat on the sofa. And I always say to my friends, and when I had clients, or even I work at a gym, so even some of the members at the gym, you can restart the day at any time. You genuinely can. And that can be, it's got to 4 p.m. and you've done nothing all day. It's still 4 p.m. Let's restart the
Got
day.
8 hours to go.
Yeah. Let's go for a 5 minute walk, come back, breath of fresh air, phone off, pen and paper, write down three small things you can do. I'm talking things that undo the dishwasher, but anything to like restart the day and make you feel a sense of purpose and build that self belief. So, yeah, I think physical and I think the mental will follow. But I think they are so linked that, to be honest, even doing one
will elicit the other.
automatically, yeah, it reinforces the other.
Well, whenever if I am having a a drop,
Down day.
a down day,
Mm,
I still push myself to make a physical change
okay.
because I always think, and my belief is, if I've got 1,000 things to worry about,
Yeah.
at least if I'm fit and healthy, it's one less.
Yes.
It may not fix my problem,
No.
but at least I've got one less thing to worry about.
And they do say that, don't they? You have 100 problems until your health is struggling, and then you have one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people will be low on confidence when it
Mhm.
comes to the gym. So
Mhm.
when someone comes to me and say, Jake, I'm really scared about the gym. Okay, cool. Let's start at home.
Mhm.
Start at home. A lot of a lot of or a lack of confidence
Mhm.
comes from not being sure they know what they're doing in the gym.
Yeah.
So step number one for me is to
Mhm.
ensure form is correct.
Yeah.
So it's not going to stop them thinking
Is someone
if
looking
people
at
are
me?
looking at me,
Yeah.
but at least they know I'm doing this right.
Yeah.
Then it comes on to the second point. No one is looking at you.
No one is. Everyone's so in their own
Yeah,
zone.
yeah. I saw a woman the other day doing a lat pull down with a frying pan. She'd
Love
like
that.
taken it in, and she
Yeah.
was like,
No one's looking.
no one's fucking looking at me.
Yeah. No one.
No one's looking at me.
Honestly, I've
I,
done a whole workout with my sports bra and my leggings inside out.
no
No
one's
one said
looking at
anything
you.
because no one's
No
noticed.
one, no one. Everyone's got blinkers on. They're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
That's two.
Yeah.
And then three, it's like it needs to be a progressive ladder.
Yes.
So day one, we go into the gym, and I give people what I call a low confidence program,
Nice.
which can be done with a dumbbell,
In the
in
corner.
corner of the gym.
Mhm.
It's not where I want you to be, but that's how
Yeah.
we'll start. Do
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Then we will take the dumbbell and we will do a goblet squat in the squat rack.
Yes.
So you're building your confidence. I know I can do this thing.
Yeah.
I'm going
In
to
a
do
new
this thing
area.
here. Then we'll put the bar on the back.
Mhm.
So it's that slow progressive. And if you fail, good.
Mhm.
Get it out of the way.
Yeah.
I've dropped so many bars,
Yeah.
tripped up,
Absolutely.
broken bones, looked like an idiot,
Hopefully we're not doing that.
you know. I, but
Yeah.
no one cares. It's part
Yeah.
of the journey and it makes the better one, a better story to tell.
Yeah. And I think what you've just said there, without maybe even realizing, there's this model in psychology called the COM-B model,
Mm,
and it stands for capability, opportunity, motivation equals behavior. You can't expect someone to enact a behavior if they don't know what they're doing, if they don't have the opportunity to do it, you don't have the motivation to do it. So by equipping someone with the skills of all those three components,
mm,
it leads to behavior. It's one of my favorite models
that's
of
really
health
nice.
psychology. And without even realizing it, you're doing that
Mm.
with your clients.
I'd like you
I'll
to,
send you the
yeah,
link.
please do.
And that's the thing, that whenever I'm doing an induction at the gym, we've got like new members and we have junior members who are like 11 years
Yeah,
old
cool.
upwards. They'll come in not knowing what to do, and the thing I always do is drop a weight with them.
Oh,
I'll show
really?
them how to do something and I just drop the weight and it makes a really loud sound. And they're like, "What?"
What are you doing?
I said, "Does anyone look?" Yes, it's not ideal. We wouldn't encourage our members to be dropping a weight, obviously, making a loud racket.
Your
But
gym's gonna be like, "Ugh."
it's Eleanor.
Yeah.
But it shows them that no one's actually looking at you. And it almost helps them realize, if you make a mistake and you drop away, it makes a loud sound, it's okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing their own thing. Half the time, people have got noise cancelling headphones on.
Mm.
The main thing is you're safe, you're happy, and you know what you're doing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think we'll close with a saying, and you don't need to hate your body to change it,
Yeah,
but you must challenge it if you want to grow, because you can have growth or you can have comfort, but you cannot have them both.
I love that. You have to send me that
I think I just made it up. We'll see.
one.
J-
Well,
Jake
trademark.
Wheeler.
Yeah.
Success is overcoming boundaries that would otherwise stop everyone else. Anyway, thank you so
Love
much,
it. Thank
Eleanor,
you so much for
and
having me.
let's go get coffee.
Sounds good.
See you
Thank
later.
you. See you later.